EA's monstrosity Anthem, that has been in a holding pattern for almost a year, will have its fate decided this week, which would see the game dusted off after a disastrous launch or finally put out of its misery. Plus, T1 dumped Brax and AZK from their Valorant roster and break up the former iBuyPower CSGO team once again. And E3 will happen this year, but virtually only. All that and more next on The Breakdown. Anthem's fate to be decided this week. EA's much maligned game, Anthem, will have its fate decided in the near future according to an internal report. The publisher is meeting to decide whether or not to reinvest the effort and resources needed to resuscitate the game after an absolutely disastrous launch. The project apparently has around 30 people currently working on it, nowhere near the 90 people that the company is saying it would need in order to get it in working order, as well as add new content that will be used to lure gamers back to the project. Anthem's launch might go down in history as one of the worst launches of all time. Still not the worst though, thanks to Cyberpunk 2077. When it was originally released, the game came out with so many bugs, including one that crashed any PS4 that was running it, a section of the game that saw you having to do tedious item farming for hours in order just to progress further, and even an update that was supposed to fix all the problems, but ended up completely breaking the game instead. Hoping for another revival like No Man's Sky or Final Fantasy XIV have enjoyed is a long stretch for a project that BioWare royally screwed up from the beginning. What could possibly be the key to helping this game get off the ground again? In the day of post-Cyberpunk 2077, companies need to learn the lesson that until a game is done, meaning ready to go out because it is finished and not because of an arbitrary launch date, that is the time to put the game out to the public. There are fewer and fewer opportunities for do-overs when it comes to video game launches, and if BioWare and EA had any sense, they would do the right thing and put Anthem down like the ending of Old Yeller. Spoilers on a book over 40 years old. T1 released Brax and AZK from Valorant roster. While it may not have been for long, it was nice while it lasted when the former iBuyPower Counter-Strike squad teamed up again to compete in Valorant this time. But now it seems that T1 are moving forward without Brax and AZK on the team. Both were great players and put up fairly solid stats when it came to competing this past year in tournament. But flashback to June, and there's no way we would have known or been reporting that Skadoodle is the only last remaining original T1 member. The roster has gone through some wild changes in the past year, let alone the past week, with the announcement of Automatic joining just 4 days ago. But the core of Brax, AZK, and Skadoodle was so good, a squad that was liable to pop off at any moment, and even had the storyline of reunited teammates after being banned as the iBuyPower squad when they played Counter-Strike together for match-fixing allegations. This leaves the roster of Skadoodle, Dazed, Spider, the former Overwatch player, and Automatic competing together and still needing to fill that 5th role slot. Whatever team makes the move and picks up AZK and Brax, since they're most likely going to be traded as a pair, is going to be picking up a scary duo. They have not only been dominant for CSGO, but also the Valorant scene. And with so many teams still looking for strong duelists, don't expect them to sit on the sidelines for long. You can check out the announcement video from T1 for their new roster changes at our website, checkpointxp.com. E3 will happen in 2021 as a digital event. E3 is back, but instead of the industry-leading gaming event, it will go on as a digital event this year. Canceled last year in the wake of coronavirus, the Entertainment Software Association has confirmed the return of the event that is used by not only fans of games to find out what is upcoming, but is used by many major gaming companies to make announcements that set their next year's schedule. As of now, it looks like it's going to be a 3-day live stream event, happening probably on the previously announced dates of June 15th through the 17th. The ESA has said that it is having conversations with some of the largest publishers and developers and companies across the board, and that they will use the opportunity to unveil some exciting new announcements. But it's 2021, and I think it's time we have a real conversation about this. Do you really need to have an E3 conference anymore in a post-COVID world? While 2020 is a year unlike any other in terms of how the gaming industry met the challenges provided by a global pandemic, the one thing that was apparent was that you didn't really need a huge event to be able to drop some new announcements or promote upcoming games. The PS5 reveal and launch event went smoothly, with millions of people tuning in live to watch the reveal stream on Twitch and YouTube. Nintendo essentially dropped their directs, instead opting to just release a trailer for any game they were promoting on a random Tuesday morning at 6 a.m., or whenever fits best for them. And the world hasn't caught on fire yet. So why do companies need to do this in the age of digital announcements? We're just going to have to sit and wait and see what happens when it comes to what companies and developers sign up to be a part of this E3 digital event. But what about you? Do you think that we still need big tentpole events like E3 to make big video game announcements? Sound off on our Twitter at CheckpointXP. That's it for the news today. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We're always posting brand new content right here on our YouTube channel. But did you know that Checkpoint XP is the only syndicated radio show in over 70 cities across the US and Canada that talks exclusively esports and video games? If you go to our website at checkpointxp.com, you can see where we're airing and if we're in a city near you. And while you're there, check out the podcast feed for the breakdown and take the esports and video game news on the go. My name's Weirdbeard, and I have zero interest in the Flash coming to Fortnite. Stop the madness.